Hi guys, hold on for a second. Before we proceed to the video, I have something very important to tell you. Professor Jon V. Kofas has published his new book in collaboration with Little French Media, and the title of the book is Neoliberalism, Inequality, and Authoritarianism. This book details how neoliberalism impacts the geopolitical economy in the 21st century. You can buy it from Amazon, and the link is in the description. Thank you. Now let's proceed to the video.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is a very brief summary overview. It's basically designed to give you a taste of what's in a much larger video regarding how Western media covers the war, which has been deemed genocide by Israel in Gaza, and now, of course, extended into Lebanon. Hopefully, that will come to an end soon. Both of those, that the whole thing will come to an end soon. In any event, the video the video session which I recorded before the outbreak of the latest hostilities this week, deals with the role of the media and how the media uh, has what um, has been labeled as an Orientalism bias in its coverage. The great scholar who late Palestinian, he was of Palestinian background, in fact, who worked at Columbia University, Edward Said, developed this theory that the approach of the Western media is carries a heavy bias, prejudice, if you will, of Orientalism. It's one-sided. It covers issues from the perspective of the U.S. government and Israel, not rarely, I should say, not ever, but rarely from the perspective of the victims of the apartheid state of Israel, um, and the that coverage becomes even more biased with Western media ready to accept any official position, as we have seen in almost the last year that this is going on to almost a year now. When the official um, offices of the government of Israel put out a press release on what happened when they bomb a hospital or a school or kill United Nations workers or journalists, the Western media accepts that version without doing the kind of investigative work that they should be doing. Now, journalists throughout the world have noticed that, as well as the laity, that is the average person who follow this stuff. And what they have noticed also is the racism embedded in the coverage, because when it comes to Western media covering Ukraine, they cover that war, which is, by the way, not a genocidal war, but a conventional war. Two conventional forces, in the case of the Ukraine, of course, with the NATO behind it, going against Russia, with its supporters, without a doubt, Iran, North Korea, and China, no doubt. But that's a conventional war. When Western media covers that war, it's covered from the perspective of Ukraine or the Ukrainian victims. When it covers the war in Israel, which is a genocidal war, it covers that from the perspective of the Israeli government, not the Palestinian victims, who are readily dismissed as Hamas terrorists, okay? Regardless of whether they have anything to do with Hamas or not, because the Palestinian population, obviously, is vast, and Hamas is an organization which Israel helped to establish in order to sabotage the two-state solution and to undermine the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank. I remind everyone, this is not mentioned in the Western media, rarely in independent news organizations. Okay. So the video session that I have analyzing the role of Western media basically deconstructs everything, and it talks about who is behind the media corporations, the big money influencing it, government, defense contractors, pro-Zionist billionaires. And it looks at consistently, from a historical perspective, the um, dogmatic position of Western media when it comes to the state of Israel, reflecting essentially what the spokesperson at the State Department, the press secretary in the White House say, and reflecting that. Rarely doing investigating or reporting, rarely, as Edward Said pointed out, and others, by the way, since Said, obviously, that Said has died a long time ago, others have pointed out in work that they have done, rarely do they take a look at the issue of what is the other side's position, what are the specific issues on the table that the other side has put, and whether the conflict can be avoided and all of that. So I ask you to take a look at this video. It's very important, especially right now, considering that Israel has targeted Lebanon. Again, like I said, hopefully nothing. This will stop, as well as the war, the genocidal war in Gaza. But as of right now, it's going on, and still the Western media covers it from the perspective of Israel, insisting that Hezbollah is the target when in fact civilians, including children, as many people in the United Nations from around the world have said this week, those are the victims. Good intentions, so-called good intentions of the IDF aside, the victims are civilians, including children. So the Western media continues on the road of Orientalism, which, as scholars have pointed out, is indeed racism. So the issue of race enters into media coverage. I invite you to, again, to take a look at this video. Also to join this channel that Asad Alim manages, my good friend Asad Alim, and this is an educational channel, by the way, and to look forward to other videos. Write comments, ask questions, propose topics for future discussion, and thank you very much for watching.